Well, good morning, Miramar, and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. Don't forget, check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. And this man needs no introduction in the City of Miramar. He is the mayor of our wonderful city. And we all know it's right here in Miramar, except he's not right here in Miramar right now. How are you, Mayor Messam?
Hi, Tamara. How are you today?
I am well. I'm well. And Andy, of course, is here, the producer of the show. But we are so happy to have you. But you're busy representing us as always. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm actually in Osceola County at the Florida Public Pension Trustees Association for a pension convention here, where we have, I guess, trustees from all over the state that represent their various general employees, management, fire, police, pension plans, where we get our, education, state regulation updates and industry information to make us better trustees.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, particularly since the city, runs through the employees and we want to definitely take care of them. I know you want to take care of them as well. So we're glad you're there representing for that. But we also have something happening in the great city of Miramar that has been a tradition for many, many years, and people are excited. I love what you guys are calling it. Independence Day concert and fireworks display and the city's independence from COVID. Tell us all about it, Mayor Messam.
Well, yes, on this Sunday, we have our fireworks display. It's probably our city's largest event. We typically have thousands of residents and visitors that come out to our 170-acre regional park. But this year is really special because last year we were unable to have the fireworks display because of the pandemic. And even though COVID-19 is still very real, we do see some light at the end of the tunnel. We have vaccines that are available for all of our residents that you wish to have the vaccines, and we continue to encourage our residents to get vaccinated. But on Sunday, we get an opportunity to come together as a community, to basically to shake off the shackles of this virus. We are committed to defeating it. And we want to ensure that the residents can celebrate the founding of our nation and our nation's independence on July 4th at Regional Park. And this year, I'm hosting a mayor's concert, which is totally free for the community as a prelude to the fireworks display. The gates at the regional park will open up at 5:30, and we're asking residents to go on our Eventbrite website that'll will show on the screen, where residents can go in and get their free voucher. And the concert will be headlined by Grammy Award winning reggae band Morgan Heritage. Also, pop star and award winner herself, Taylor Dane, who's very popular in terms of her R&B style and her crossover into popular music. And she'll be able to take us down memory lane. And we also have some Cuban Latin music by Timbalive. So we're looking forward to our residents just to come out to the Miramar Amphitheater for the concert, to listen to some great music, get up and dance. This is a family affair, and we just look forward to welcoming back our residents.
And let me tell you, Mayor, the residents are looking forward to being back. Also going to be hosted by yours truly, along with my radio partner, Julie Guy from 101.5 Light FM. We are so excited. We were talking about it today, as a matter of fact, on the air, and inviting people to come out and to register. What I love about the city of Miramar is that it is so inclusive. Even with your concert, I know it was a concentrated effort to bring in everyone and be inclusive. How important is that for a city of Miramar size?
Well, it's so important for the city of Miramar, and I really take that to heart, as the mayor of our city, and our population is approaching 150,000, very diverse residents. And we know and we recognize that when it comes to entertainment and music, everyone has their taste. They have their style based on what they like to listen to. So when you think about a city like Miramar, we know that to have an event like Independence Day, where we are celebrating America, we're celebrating the melting pot, which has become our wonderful country. We want to make sure that in our city, that we can celebrate and bring some cultural experiences that will resonate with our residents. We know we have a very large Latin community, so that's why Timba Live will be there to really give us some great and outstanding entertainment from the Latin genre. And then we know that we have a very large Caribbean population as well as reggae kind of crosses over
Crosses over.
everyone, but we have a very large Caribbean community that will recognize many of the hits by Morgan Heritage. And when you get someone like Taylor Dane, I mean, what bucket do you put Taylor Dane in? You're white, you're black, you're Hispanic.
She's
She
just
has a
great.
hit
Yeah.
song that you
Yeah.
like that brings some kind of memory to you. So she was an excellent choice to really help to give some representation that reflects the city of Miramar.
Absolutely. And, as someone who has played her on, as you mentioned, on urban radio, but I play her on 101.5 Light FM. So she crosses all genres, and that's because she's a singer. She crosses
Yes.
all genres.
She's an actress too. Now I found that out about her, that she kind of does a little acting as well. So yeah, it was
Okay.
pretty interesting to find out about her.
Okay, but yes, but when you're a true singer, you have no boundaries. You're just everywhere. And so we want people to be at the big event, the Independence Day celebration at the City of Miramar. It's going to be at the Miramar Regional Park. That's 16801 Miramar Parkway. You are asking people to register at Miramar 4th of July .eventbrite.com, and fourth is 4th. Miramar 4th of July.eventbrite.com. And very important also, gates open at 5:30, no entry after 8 p.m. And that is because obviously the fireworks will be starting, and you can't come in after they get started, right?
Yes, so we're asking our residents just to come out. It's a family event. You can watch the concert under the comforts and covering of the amphitheater. That's what's so unique and wonderful about the amphitheater. We know in South Florida in the summer, we always get those afternoon showers. And because of the amphitheater, everyone is covered and protected. So we do know that this event is very popular. There have been many RSVPs. We still have a few more slots left, so don't tarry, don't delay. Go ahead and get your vouchers before we're no longer able to accept anymore. And then after the concert, you can go out back to your car or out in the lawn, stretch out, and then you will see one of South Florida's most fabulous fireworks display. Also, during the concert, we will be featuring and highlighting many of our Miramar employees. We want to celebrate and recognize them for, their hard work
They
during
just
the.
all came back to work, right? The city
Yes,
just
the city
technically
is fully
reopened.
open right
Yeah.
now, and we just will highlight a few of our special employees. All of our employees are special. But obviously we can't individually recognize everyone. We just want to make sure that we give them some recognition, as well as I have some other announcements. But you have to come to find
Okay.
out about it.
Okay. And one thing I know too, Mayor Messam, is that, people are still concerned about COVID, but I know the city is going to have requirements of mask and social distancing, correct?
So the city of Miramar, the amphitheater, because the amphitheater is an outdoor venue, it will be in compliance with the CDC guidelines. So we're encouraging all of our residents to wear a mask, but we do follow the CDC guidelines. In fact, the amphitheater actually was the only venue in Broward County that actually could have events because it's outdoor. Even though we have a covering, it qualifies as an outdoor venue. So because of the room, because of the space, because it's outdoors, we expect everyone to be able to participate in a very safe manner. We're just asking our residents just to look out for not only yourselves but your neighbor and your friends. If you're sitting with someone, you can, we're just encouraging everyone to wear a mask. Hopefully, if you're vaccinated, you have that extra layer of protection. But at the end of the day, we want to celebrate as a community.
Sounds good. All right. So again, register at Miramar 4th of July.eventbrite.com. Mayor Messam is presenting this wonderful event. It is the Independence Day concert and fireworks display in the city's independence from COVID. It's going to star Taylor Dane, Morgan Heritage, and Timba Live. So the gates open at 5:30. Again, no entry after 8 o'clock. and no personal coolers or fireworks are allowed. So we've got a show for you. You'll be able to enjoy the music as well as the very own fireworks that the City of Miramar is going to put on. And I know also that there's going to be a commission meeting coming up that you want to encourage people to attend as well, Mayor Mess.
Yes, yes. On July 7th, actually, it'll be our last commission meeting before our summer hiatus, where we take some time off because, our employees do enjoy, needs to get some summer vacation with their families, and we'll come back in the end of August. But we have some very important items on our commission agenda, like we do on every commission meeting, and we meet on the first and third Wednesday of every month. But more specifically, we have two items that will come up for city commission. One is dealing with affordable housing. There's an opportunity for the city of Miramar to add over 300 Class A affordable housing and workforce housing units to the city of Miramar, which would it definitely would go a long way in making Miramar a more affordable community. If you've been paying attention to the news, or if you've been in the real estate market, you know how crazy and how much home prices have escalated. So we're really working hard as a commission, as a city, to explore those options to see how we can bring affordable housing. Also, there's another item that's coming up for vote, and that is the land use amendment that the city of Miramar applied for through ourselves, the state of Florida, Broward County. This effort has been going on for over a year. It has gone through all of the stakeholder review process, and now it's coming back to the city of Miramar for our final approval, and asking Miramar residents just to tune in or come to City Commission just to see what the options are for the land use amendment. And it's directly dealing with historic Miramar. It sets the ground rules of making the appropriate allocations for the number of housing units that will be allowed in historic Miramar in this specific geographic area, from 67th Avenue going west towards the Turnpike and south of Miramar Parkway, as well as it sets the allocation of commercial square footage, retail square footage, and recreational space as we look for opportunities to redevelop historic Miramar. And you'll learn more about the land use amendment, which also would include the location of the Miramar Innovation Village. So we are really excited about the prospects, but it does need commission approval. And if this is something that our residents would like to see in terms of affordable housing, as well as the land use amendment for historic Miramar, so that we can continue our progress in historic Miramar, that they come to the commission meeting, voice their concerns, and as well as asking our residents to be engaged and to participate. And we'll see them July 7th, which is the first Wednesday of the month. And we look forward to seeing them at commission meeting, either in person or virtually.
Sounds good. And I know that the commission meetings also, I believe, are shown on Comcast Channel 78 as well, if you're in Miramar. So people can, the same place you're watching this now, you can watch it on Wednesday evening. So thank you so much, Mayor Wayne Messam from the great city of Miramar, our city here. We certainly appreciate it. Again, don't forget, everyone, if you are planning on going to the Independence Day concert and fireworks display, you must register MiramarFourthOfJuly.eventbrite.com. It is a free event, but we're trying to do COVID protocols, and we need to know how many people are planning on coming. So thank you so much, Mayor Messam. We certainly appreciate you taking time out. And, I know you've got to go back to the conference.
Yes, yes.
To learn,
our residents always come first, so that was no problem to step out to do this, to share the wonderful news with our residents. And I look forward to seeing everyone on 4th of July. Wear your red, white, and blue. And I look forward to taking a picture with you.
Well, good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. So happy that you are joining us. Don't forget, check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. That's Miramar. And today's show has Dr. Heather Moore. She is a physical therapist and member of the United States Olympic Committee Sports Medicine Team. And we're going to be talking about how people are getting back into fitness now during this pandemic and after this pandemic, and how some of those post-COVID symptoms are wrecking your workout. So welcome to the show, Dr. Moore. So happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Okay, so I must admit, it went one of two ways during the pandemic. Either you got out and you were outside as much as you could and exercised, or else you sat in the house and ate and gained 15 pounds during the pandemic. So for those
So
people
true.
right, exactly. So for those people who, did get out there and were working out and riding bikes and just doing all types of exercises, how are those people doing today, do you think?
Well, surprisingly, everyone's kind of almost in the same boat because while you did have those two different groups, everyone moved 50% less. So while they may have gotten outside and for an hour, overall, our cell phones tracked us moving 50% less. So there was a lot less stress on our bodies in terms of walking, going up and down steps, things like that. And that's what we're noticing across the board is that it doesn't really matter necessarily if you kept in shape or not. We're seeing a lot of these troubles in all people because of the fact that everyone, whether they were outside for an hour or not, now that was great that you did, but you basically sat down for the other 23 or you were sleeping. So it really,
So it balances out, is that what you're saying?
it was, it's interesting because we do see people in our offices saying, I'm frustrated. I kept up with my workouts during COVID and I'm still getting these pains or and it's just not the same because now you're back to your schedule where maybe you're running around kids or, you're walking a lot more, you're outside, you're doing things, you're going to the grocery store. I mean, it adds up on our body when we do those things. So, we really are seeing kind of everybody coming back together and it almost being an equal playing field other than the 15 extra pounds that some people put on.
Right. Well, good. I'm glad to know that there's at least an equal playing field.
Right.
But I must admit that I'm here in South Florida and I'm not sure where you are, but we had year-round beautiful weather. And so I saw for myself way more people out, at least it seemed like it, doing things. And I hadn't seen people exercising in my neighborhood, and all of a sudden everybody's throwing a ball or they're riding a bike
Right.
or roller skating. They were doing something. But now you also have the people who did get the disease, did get
Mhm.
COVID-19. How have their systems worked? Did you find that people bounced back, or are they having more difficulty in trying to get back to where they were?
Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of post-COVID symptoms being worse than actual COVID-19. And when we see people that have had COVID-19, it doesn't matter if you had severe symptoms and you were in the hospital or you had no idea you even had it. You just had to get tested because a family member had it and you tested positive. We are seeing decreased lung function, difficulties with breathing. And again, it's one of those things where it doesn't matter how severe the symptoms were when you actually had COVID-19. We're seeing this across the board. Fortunately, it's affecting everybody. We're seeing joint pain, back pain, neck pain. Now, some of that we can contribute to people sitting more and being at home and not having proper desk set up, but we're seeing a lot of joint pain that we can't explain. And we're really not starting just to see what's going to happen post COVID. But the one point I want to make is how severe your symptoms were had no bearing on how severe your symptoms are after COVID.
All right. And you did mention that sometimes people had these symptoms or they weren't as bad as they were after COVID. Does that play into a factor at any time? I mean, if I played football, I wouldn't play football, but I mean, if I played football
Right.
in high school or played basketball and I already had a knee injury beforehand, did that get worse with COVID or could you tell the difference?
We're seeing that a lot of people's pain changes. So while it may be an ache before and something you could ignore, now it's become sharper. And while we don't know if it really had anything to do with that previous injury, it's becoming more things that you can't ignore. And this sharper pain, that pain that doesn't subside, that is really what we're seeing in the joints because people are now saying, I can't even live with this knee anymore. It's just so painful. And they're not able to kind of ignore it as they were before. So yeah, we are seeing some exacerbation of some pre-existing conditions, but we are also seeing those conditions change too, and the description of them change. So we're seeing a bunch of different things happening.
Okay. If you all are just tuning in, we are speaking with Dr. Heather Moore. She's a physical therapist and also a member of the United States Olympic Committee sports medicine team. We're going to be talking with her a little bit more about that coming up as well, too. I did want to ask the question of the people who, did have COVID. Now they're back to working out again. What kind of frequency should they be exercising? Should they be trying to exercise once per day or maybe once a week or twice a week, or what would you suggest to them? Or is it just all based on whatever their issue is? Uh-oh, Dr. Moore, I think you, there you go. Now you're back now.
Yeah.
We're on these
I
Zoom.
got you. So what you really need to do is, first of all, determine where you're at. And it doesn't matter where you were before COVID. You have to kind of figure out where you are after COVID. And we're seeing people who were in great shape, marathon runners, not being able to run a mile without almost collapsing. So I always recommend smaller doses. So if you have a 10-minute tolerance, that's where you start. And maybe you do it 10 minutes every day, because 10 minutes isn't all that long, but you don't want to push yourself. And this is where seeking medical attention and medical advice can really help, because you want someone to monitor that. If you are having a significant change in your knee pain or any sort of joint pain or lung function, you really need to consult with somebody, because ramping it up too quickly can be detrimental. And it doesn't matter where you were fitness level prior. We're seeing people just kind of have to start from zero. So smaller bits more often are always more advised. So if you want to do 2 10-minute walks a day, that's great. That's where you start. But really understand, try not to just jump back into pre-COVID. Oh, I did this, so I should be able to do this now, or I shouldn't be this tired. No, you should be this tired. We're seeing the body really take a long time to recover. So acknowledge where you're at and don't kind of kid yourself, because that does lead to further injury and can be very serious with the heart and lungs issue at play here.
Right. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because I know there are so many athletes that are out here watching it now. And just like you said, oh, I did that. Listen, I ran 10 miles, a day before I had COVID. And now I can barely walk up a flight of stairs, but I'm going to try anyway. So
Yeah.
you just really have to be honest with yourself about where you are in your workout program, right?
You do. You absolutely do. Because when you're having trouble walking up the steps due to breathing or just not being too tired, that's a heart and lung function. And you can't mess around with that. That's not just pushing through a sprained ankle that you say, suck it up. Those are things that you need to really pay attention to. So, and unfortunately, people who are running 10 miles are usually those people that are saying, I just suck it up. It's totally fine. I'm going to keep going. But you have to pay attention to it. And because this is new and we haven't even have the long range studies to say, yeah, you know what, go ahead, it's fine. It's something you want to really pay attention to and observe and respect. So start where you need to start, and maybe one day you go for 10 minutes and the next day you go for 20, but really listen to your body on this one as you slowly ramp up. I highly recommend seeking medical treatment as you engage or re-engage back into your workout program if you notice you're suffering.
Okay, so on the flip side of that, Dr. Moore, besides, the athletes who, were working out beforehand, they were in great shape and now they're having issues. Then you have the people who already had the pre-existing conditions and already were obese and already had joint pain and knee pain because, they're carrying too much weight or whatever the case may be. What do you say to those people if they had COVID and now they want to be better, they want to get better
Right.
and work on their health?
Right. So those people definitely should seek some type of medical intervention, whether that's physical therapy, whether that's consulting your doctor, because again, one of the number one reason people stop working out is injury. And it's not a fall, it's just overuse and pains that crop up. And you don't want to set yourself up for failure just by jumping in because this is what the internet says. The internet is often wrong.
Yes,
I
it
hate to
is.
break it to you, it's often wrong when it's dispensing medical advice. You're always going to find what you're looking for. I promise, if there's an answer you want, you'll find it. Somebody will say it for you. But you need to really be careful, because you can hurt yourself and then you're back to square one, and then you're frustrated all over again, and you're in this vicious cycle of I can never get back into shape because everything's always in pain. So take that first step and call your doctor, call your physical therapist, and get in there and get a supervised medical return to activity going.
Okay. And as a physical therapist and member of the United States Olympic Committee sports medicine team, obviously you see the finest of the finest athletes. And even, I think what we do as lay people, we compare ourselves to those athletes, and really we should be a little bit
Oh,
more,
I know. I
sensical,
know.
right?
Right. Exactly. It always amazes me when people come in with the exact same injury as their favorite football player or hockey player, whatever your sport is, and they say, "Well, they got better in 3 months." And I wish I could peel back the curtain and say, "Okay, well, they were in rehab from 6 in the morning till 8 at night, doing everything under the sun to get this better. They have all the state of the art equipment that insurance doesn't cover, but when you have, a sports team's backing you up, they pay for everything." So people really compare themselves and they want to put themselves on the same level. And I promise you, being behind the curtain, it's not even close to the same level. It will never be this. We all have lives. We have to actually work. That is their job.
Right,
That's
exactly.
their job, is to get better as soon as possible. So where they literally will spend 14, 16 hours rehabbing and doing everything they can, we don't have that luxury. And when you start or you think about starting, never compare yourself, never look at somebody else's injury, especially a professional or an Olympic athlete, and think that you should be further along because, oh, they got better in 3 months and it's taken you 6 months. It'll take you a year because you don't have the resources that they do. It's just not possible.
Right. Resources, and your body is not trained like theirs is. There are some people I know who had an Achilles heel problem. They were out for a year. They couldn't do anything for a year. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
like you said, a football player or a basketball player will be back in 2 months or 3 months, but they're working on it every day for hours and hours and hours. So
Right. Absolutely. It makes a big difference when you have that. And also, they play with a ton of pain. Like, don't get them wrong. They're out there making the money because they are going through a lot of pain. They're not playing pain free, but they know they have to get that, game in to get the contract or whatever. So it is a very different scenario. I always hesitate when people bring these stories in. I'm like, it's not even close to what you and I are going through. Trust me, if someone promised me $5 million to play on a bad Achilles, I'd be out there right now.
trust me, I'm with you, Dr. Moore.
Exactly.
So there was one question here that I thought was quite interesting that they, brought up about balancing and balance in your life period, but particularly balancing on one leg.
Mhm.
Um, should people be able to do that? And if they can't, does that signal something?
So one of the biggest fall risk indicators, meaning you have a really good chance of falling, is lack of balance. And most people who have poor balance come in and they say, "You know what, my parents had bad balance." Balance is not hereditary. We need to work on it in order to improve it. And so many people can't stand on one leg. And you should be able to stand on one leg with your eyes closed for 30 seconds. And I say with your eyes closed because none of us fixate on one point when we're walking. So, we're always looking down or at our cell phone or something like that. So just closing that eye simulates that, not using your vision to balance. But you should be able to stand on one leg 30 seconds with your eyes closed, no problem. You'd be surprised how many people can't do that. Hip, knee issues, back, falls, as you get older, if you have parents, we all worry about that fall risk. And that's literally one of the things that we have found beyond a shadow of a doubt in the literature, that if you have decreased single leg balance, you are at a significantly higher fall risk than someone who doesn't. So it's something to work on. I always say brushing your teeth is a great time to work on your balance. I'm not one for let's just stand on our leg in the middle of the day. That's just weird. But if you incorporate it with things you're doing every day anyway,
Mhm.
you're going to be more likely to adhere to it. So while you're brushing your teeth, while you're in the shower, just stand there, stand on one leg, try and close your eyes. If you have really bad balance, make sure you can grab onto the sink real quick. But working on that, it doesn't take much. Just doing that while you're brushing your teeth is going to help improve your balance every day.
And you know what? Okay, so I'm going to start that today.
Perfect. So there you
Yes, but one of the things that I have when I close my eyes is I have a little bit of vertigo. So I've really got to
go.
work
Mhm.
on that, because obviously that means my balance is off some kind of way.
You do, and you want to get that vertigo looked at, because vertigo and dizziness when you close your eyes is a serious condition that you want to make sure that you are addressing, because that can also lead to falls and that can lead to a lot of other issues. So don't always chalk up balance and vertigo and dizziness kind of all in the same category and just say I have to work on it.
Right.
You need to really be treated if you suffer from dizziness or that vertigo when you close your eyes, because it's important that you manage that. That's a very serious issue, not one to kind of overlook.
Right. Okay, sounds good. Well, if people want more information or would love to talk with you or see you more, what can they do to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so we have a website, www.totalperformancept.com. We also have an extensive YouTube channel, Total Performance Physical Therapy, that has hundreds of videos on exercises, information, things like that that you can do on your own.
Okay, sounds good. I want to ask this question, Dr. Moore, before you leave. Do you, as a physical therapist, and having your doctorate in this, do you feel like things are going to get better for us post-COVID when it comes to health-wise and exercising and getting better? Oh wait, I think you're stuck there for a minute. Let's see. Hopefully it'll pop back in. Got a little
I'm sorry,
Wi-Fi issue.
can
There
you
you go.
repeat that question? I didn't quite
Sure. Yeah, it
catch
was.
all that.
That's okay. It was stuck a little bit.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, the question was, do you think now that we are, slowly coming out of this?
All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm sorry. Repeat that last question. Sorry.
Okay. That since we are coming out of the pandemic or slowly coming out of the pandemic, that we will be
Right.
better health-wise for this. That, with you guys doing those long-term studies, we'll be able to get back to where we were before the pandemic.
I believe that we will be able to get back to where we were before the pandemic. If we do, it's up to us. I mean, it is really a challenging time mentally, physically. I mean, it's not just physical health that took a toll. So long-term studies are being done for everything right now. And it's a tough time right now as we all try and figure out where we're supposed to be. So is from a physicality standpoint, I believe we're truly going to be able to recover, but that also plays in with the mental pieces that we have to really take care of also. And they can't be neglected because they tie in very closely. So, it's going to be something that I think we're all going to be struggling with for years to come, but we will eventually, be able to get past it and get back to where we were. Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Dr. Heather Moore. She's a physical therapist, the owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. She's also part of the United States Olympic Committee sports medicine team and a nationally recognized doctor of physical therapy who has spent her career in outpatient orthopedics. Again, if you want more information, go to her website, Total Performance PT, as in physical therapy, totalperformancept.com. Thank you so much, Dr. Heather Moore. We certainly appreciate you being here this morning on Good Morning Miramar, and we'll talk to you again soon.